go! Welcome back to the CBM channel. If you're new here, it's for a guy like myself that has little to no real culinary experience or teaching, tries to stay on gourmet meals or just good food at that. So today's video we're going to do baked spaghetti, which is, you know, spaghetti by itself is great, but what we're going to do is kick it that extra step further. I mean, unless y'all do that already, and we're going to see how it turns out at the end. So let's get right into it. So as you can see from the groceries, there's not a lot to it. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now that our pan's rip roaring and ready, we're gonna throw in our meat. Okay, so for the seasonings, I'm gonna go in with some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a little bit of onion powder. So I cook my meat on high heat just so that way it's a little more crisp and not like, you know, boil, even though that's what it's doing right now. I guess there's just a lot of oil and fat in there, a lot more than I thought there was going to be. So this is almost done. What I'm going to do is set this aside. We'll get started on our sauce and noodles, and then we'll go from there. Always taste your meat, especially if it's ground beef or something like this. Taste your meat once you know it's fully cooked, so that way you know if you need to add more seasonings, just like I tasted mine and needed a little more seasoning. So just be aware of that, and helpful tip. Alright, so now we're going to dice up one onion. So now that our onions diced up, you can use this in any way you want. I'm going to put mine in the meat and in the sauce. Okay, so now that our meat's done, what I'm going to do is pull this off, and then we'll get started on our sauce. So for our sauce, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up this garlic, and then we'll have the onion from earlier that we just cut, and then we're going to continue making our sauce. Okay, so for our sauce, we're going to use 1 can of crushed tomatoes. This is the only can they had, so if you want a smaller can, by all means, go for it. But again, this is all they had, so just going to dump this in here. Okay, so now that our sauce is up to a higher temperature than just cold, we're going to start with garlic, some salt, pepper, onion, and some basil. This isn't fresh, but you can definitely use fresh. It'd probably even be better. So the final step before we put it in the oven is the noodles. And so I'm going to pull this off, and then we'll get started on it. So I'm not going to show the whole process of boiling the noodles. All it is water, a little bit of salt, and your noodles to cook until al dente, which is in between 11 to 13 minutes. And it even says it on the package. So there you go. So now that our noodles are almost done, there's an easier way to checking it than throwing it at a wood surface, because let's just be honest here. What idiot would throw their noodles against the wall to see? So after further inspection, our noodles are done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this off, combine everything, stick it into oven safe container, and bake. So what I'm going to do now that we have this container for our oven is I'm going to put all the ingredients in here, give it just a little mix, and then top it with some cheese. Okay, dang it. So the camera wasn't rolling. I put the noodles in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the meat. Alright, so now that all the ingredients in here, I'm going to give this a mix, or try to at least. And if you have a bigger container, by all means, please use the bigger container. I think this is the biggest one I have here, so we're just going to roll with it. So now that it's all mixed in there, I did pat it down just a little bit for a little more extra room. We're going to top it off with a few scoops of cottage cheese spread out across the top. Then we're going to go in with some medium cheddar or sharp cheddar. That's totally up to you. Just kind of spread it out so it's even. Then we're going to top it off with some mozzarella, fresh grated. So now that it's all complete like this, you could definitely eat it like this. I don't really know if you would want to, but we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees, pop it in there for 20-25 minutes or until all the cheese is melted. Then we're going to take it out, and I'll give you guys a taste test. Now that our oven's preheated, grab some oven mitts. I only have one, so be careful. Disclaimer, or whatever you want to call it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our spaghetti in here. And we're going to let that go for 20-25 minutes or until the cheese is melted. So while the food's just finishing up in the oven here, drinking some cheer wine, doing some dishes, comment down below what you guys like to do, your favorite drink, or anything you want to see. While you're down there, hit that like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you when we taste some food. Cheers. Now it's time to plate it. So first off, grab your plate. Then grab a scoop of your spaghetti. Throw that on the plate. And there you have it, baked spaghetti. Okay, so now that we got this made, let's go ahead and give this a taste. 10 out of 10. This is the best spaghetti I've ever had. I've been craving this for the longest time. So I hope you guys enjoyed. The camera battery's about to die, so stay tuned for more recipes. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.